Hey guys, it's Woody the Unexceptional Gamer. So for those of you that are new to my channel, you know that every now and then I do a video that's not so much about the gameplay. Instead, it's about some life topic, like, going to college, succeeding in high school. I did one recently, on what it's like as you get older. So I decided to put these together into a series called Getting It Together. Now, Woody's Words of Wisdom is this gameplay thing. I almost wish that title I could have used for this one, but it's taken. So Getting It Together is going to be when I talk about life topics like this. And they're usually pretty popular, so I hope this one goes over well too. Today, I'm going to talk about how to love somebody and how to be a good partner. So, the first thing I'm going to talk about is something I read in a book like 10 years ago or something along those lines. And it's the 5 languages of love. And it's really made an impact on me. And I sit there and think about the people I know, and it's not just loved ones, it's also friendships, on how they like to be loved and what it means to them. So first I'm going to run through the 5 languages, and then I'm going to talk about them. Words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. So, words of affirmation. I have a friend. I worked with her, and her love language was words of affirmation. But it's funny, she married this guy. He's like this mountain man with an 18-inch long beard. And words of affirmation just do not come easily to him. So, it made them an odd couple. And so what he would do, like what comes easily to him, is acts of service. He would mow the yard, plant a garden, and fix her car in one day, like just work like a horse. And he'd point to it. You could almost see him there, like, look how much I love you. Look what I did for you. And that wasn't the language that she received love in. What she wanted to hear is that she looked pretty, or that, or just be told that she was loved. And it was confusing to her. Like, why is this so hard? Words of affirmation are so easy to give out. Because she, like me, look, we were never a couple. I think it's coming off kind of weird. But the two of us had something in common, which is words of affirmation came easily to us. I mean, heck, I think I was playing with Bendro last night when I told him that he was both sexy and that I loved him because he stopped some guy from assassinating me in mid-animation. So, that sort of thing, kind words. Some people dish them out, and it's not any trouble at all, and it's a piece of cake. Other people, this is not natural for them. They have a hard time telling people that that they're wonderful or saying nice things. It doesn't roll off the tongue. They kind of keep that stuff conservative. So anyway, that's words of affirmation. And on each of these love languages, people have a giving and a receiving. Sometimes they're the same, but sometimes they're not. And in her case, they were. She liked to hear words of affirmation, and it was easy for her to dish out her words of affirmation. The next one is quality time. So quality time is just spending time together. Sometimes that's what people really need, and everything else is nonsense, right? If they're not spending time with their partner, then they're not getting what they need. That's everything to them. And we probably all have some of these to some extent, but we probably all have a primary one too. And quality time is people who really just need to have that time with their partner to know that they're being loved. The last one is receiving gifts. This is my son, man. My son, it doesn't have to be a huge gift. It's not about giving $1,000, prizes and stuff like that. If I bring him a pair of shoes home or the toy in a Wendy's gift bag, it means everything to him. He loves that. He lights up and says, "Oh, wow." My son is a gift receiver. That's his primary language of love. And I think the primary way that he gives love, by the way, is physical touch. He's kind of a roughhouser. But to some people, when they receive a little gift, it lights them up in a way that doesn't really mean much. Like for me personally, receiving gifts is nothing. If you were to give me a gift, I'd probably shrug my shoulders and, say thank you. But it's mostly being polite. The gift itself is not something that really warms me up inside. I can just get things if I really want them. It's not about it's not the way that I learned that you like me. So receiving gifts is not a big deal. The last one is acts of service. my wife dishes these out nicely. Every day she's, making cookies or, getting me a drink of water when I'm thirsty or things like that. Acts of service they come easily to her. She just sort of mills about the house all day long doing nice things for people. That's how she operates. And it's it's great, by the way. If you can find an acts of service person, then lock her in, because it's wonderful. But that's how some people, give and receive love. They need to know that you're doing things for them, and or they have an easy time doing things for other people, and that's how that they can show love. So let's recap the first 4: words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, and acts of service. And the last one is physical touch. Now you might be thinking, Onslaught just got pwned, and you'd be right, Onslaught, good buddy. So you might be thinking, physical touch, yeah, that one's mine. That's totally the way that I like to give and receive love. Bring on the hot sexums. And well, yeah, that's true. I think for all of us that physical touch can be the cornerstone of intimacy, and I totally hear where you're coming from on that. But there's a difference, right? There's a difference between, people who just enjoy the hot sexums and guys who, are all about the public displays of attention, who want to walk hand in hand, who in the mall, when they get a chance to, touch their partner or whatever, or even guys, who tend to be more physical with each other than other ones. That's their language of love. And by the way, this doesn't just apply to loving relationships. It's also friendships and things like that. If you think about what your friend needs and how he likes to be whatever warmed up. This is getting kind of weird, but it matters there too. So anyway, the last one is physical touch, and while we all enjoy that, I think some guys really crave it. Some guys or girls build their sense of self-esteem and such over how the physical touch is going for them, and their whole sense of self-worth and the strength of a relationship is gauged by look, is he holding my hand? When we sit on the couch together, are our thighs touching? When we walk in the mall together, does he have his arm around my waist? Physical touch is how these people give or receive love. So yeah, anyway, that's another language of love. Onslaught, man. So anyway, those are the 5. Let's talk. I'm going to run through them one last time. Words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. Now it's your job to put a little thought into those 5 things and figure out for yourself, and I'll put them in the description in case you want to read them, and figure out for yourself, how does your partner like to be loved, and then execute on that, and how do you like to be loved, and then let him or her know what the deal is. So yeah, that's the first half of this. The second half I want to talk about, and it's a simple one. It's this concept of an emotional bank account. So some people, no, all people kind of keep score on how their relationship is going, right? That's how you measure whether some guy's a dick or not. So you have this concept of an emotional bank account. And when you do something nice for somebody, if you, stick up for me when I'm being bullied, if you do one of those 5 languages of love that resonates with me, if you say something nice when I'm not there, and then, it gets back to me, these are all deposits in the emotional bank account. If I'm at work and I hear like, oh yeah, Dan Loomis was telling me about you, and I'm like, oh boy, no, all really super positive stuff. I can't wait to work with you. Well, he didn't even mean to do it, but Dan just made a deposit in that emotional bank account. He does nice things when nobody's looking, and that's that. Now there's the withdrawal, right? Maybe you told a lie. Maybe you said something mean. Maybe you did something mean, like booted me out of a lobby, or who knows. But all those little indiscretions, all those little micro inequities, where like I thought I'd have your full attention, but I didn't really get it. Instead, you're reading email while you're supposed to be talking to me. Those things are withdrawals from the emotional bank account. And when you have made enough deposits, then it's not that big of a deal. I say, all right, yeah, she's not giving me her attention, and I really want it, but she's not giving me her attention, and I really want it. But on the other hand, you know what? She's made so many deposits over the years. You just freaking forgive that. It's Onslaught, my gosh. Get on my level. I'm just kidding. Onslaught's 100 times better than me at this game. But that's the idea I'm trying to share with the emotional bank account. When you do something nice, you make a deposit. And when you do something mean, you make a withdrawal. Now, what does that mean? You've probably heard someone say, oh my gosh, you can't believe how terrible this person is. This person did XXX. And then when you hear that, it doesn't really work for you. You're like, wow, man, that XXX was not that big of a deal. And the deal is that XXX wasn't the only thing they did. And in isolation, it really does sound like nothing. But the truth is, there's far more to it than that. They've been, running around doing stupid things for a while now. And that's why when that is the only thing you hear about, it's a problem. But or when that's the only thing you hear about, it sounds like it's no big deal. But the truth is that this is just one thing in a long pattern, and that person is running a huge credit balance, right? They're running, they owe a lot of money. They're in emotional bank account debt. So that's the deal with that. And you sort of need to monitor that. If you do something mean, and keep in mind, look, you've just made a big withdrawal there. You ran your mouth when you shouldn't have, maybe. And I think we've all been in that situation. And now you need to figure out, how to plug that if you value the relationship. You need to figure out how to, sort of make some deposits and get back to where you belong. So those are the two things I really wanted to talk about. And then the third is gunny sacking. So this is a concept. My wife actually took this college course on how to be a wife. It was awesome. Or how to be a partner or whatever. And one of the things they shared with us was gunny sacking. So gunny sacking is this is one style of not fighting fair. It's when you say, Woody, I think you're spending too much time with your friends and not enough time with me. And then I come back and say, well, I think that you spent too much money last month and the credit card bill was awfully high. That's not fighting fair. That's not what we're talking about. The two things are not related. And if you make a habit of fighting that way, then you're going to make a habit of, ruining your relationship. So don't do that. Don't bring up old things in the past. It looks like I'm out of time. But I hope that this sunk home. I hope that you guys become better partners and have long and successful and happy relationships.